significance of this inaugural lecture. It is a significant milestone for academics, and it provides us a platform to share research with colleagues and the community. So I'm genuinely pleased to have you all here today. And I acknowledge the influence of the senior colleagues, the research partners, and the emerging researchers on my academic growth. This lecture represents our collective journey at NFLB, turning dreams into reality with a shared convictions. While I focus on my academic journey and research, our path may have intersected. I highly appreciate you for permitting me, even to say more than that today. Early days of French in Nigerian educational system. Teaching French in Nigerian schools traces back to 1859, influenced by colonial education policies. Post-independence, Latin dominated, but interest in French grew with the realization of Latin's obsolescence. This shift impacted French education. Initially, French teachers were mostly French nationals and Francophone West Africans. In the 1960s, Nigerian universities, the University of Ibadan and the University of Nigeria Nsukka were entrusted with producing competent French teachers for secondary schools. The genesis of Nigeria French language village. The adage, necessity is the mother of invention, is an ancient wisdom found in Aesop's fable, the crow and the pitcher. Plato further expounded on this in the Republic, which is his first book. It highlights that many significant human inventions and progress emerge in response to needs or problems, a principle resonating throughout history. I draw my Yoruba heritage from my Yoruba heritage to justify the creation of the Nigeria French language village. And the Yoruba adage says, "Oyibo mu tea, mo mu eko, shebi omi gbigbono lajo mu." This translates to the white man drinks tea and I drink pap. Are we not both drinking hot liquid? The adage doesn't legitimize imitation, but emphasizes contentment and acceptability of what is available in the absence of what is not attainable. In our globalized world today, learning French language is possible anywhere with the right conditions in place. The establishment of NFLG cannot but be a welcome development from the perspective of this Yoruba adage. Historical background. It is necessary to revisit the origins of NFLG, which was conceived by the then Federal Minister of Education, Prof. Jubril Aminu. He commissioned a committee of experts to conduct feasibility studies on the establishment of both NFLV and the Nigeria Arabic Language Village, NALV, in Ingala. However, it was Prof. A.B. Fafunwa, his successor as Minister of Education, who transformed this vision into reality and oversaw the inauguration of NFLV in September 1991. I had the privilege of joining these institutions' teaching staff on December 4th, 1991, as one of its pioneering members. The first group of undergraduates from only 6 Nigerian universities commenced their studies in the village on January 6, 1992. The strategic location of NFLV is not by accident. The selection of Badagry as the location of NFLV was not by accident, of course. It was a purposeful and strategic decision. Positioning the village just a few kilometers from the border between Nigeria and the Republic of Benin, a Francophone country, is wise. This proximity facilitates ongoing cross-sectoral activities, including educational excursions and all attendant benefits. And it all started with teaching differently. At NFLV, we embrace the simulation as a key language teaching strategy. It immerses the student in real-life scenarios, fostering language proficiency, collaboration, critical thinking, and problem solving. This approach fills the gap created by the absence of a genuine francophone environment, creating a linguistically rich atmosphere for students to engage in group interactions and express themselves freely with a completing specific tasks, enhancing their learning experience. Simulation theory. Simulation theory within the realm of language learning revolves around the utilization of simulated or virtual environments to enhance the process of language acquisition. This approach involves the creation of scenarios that closely replicate real-world situations, offering language learners the opportunity to practice and develop their language skills in an interactive and lifelike manner. Thanks to comprehensive training, including workshops conducted early in our career at NFLV and educational experiences gained in France at institutions like CELA, Centre de Linguistique Appliquée de Besançon, and CAREL, Centre Audiovisuel de Royan pour l'étude des langues. I, along with many other colleagues, received thorough preparation. And armed with these newly acquired pedagogical skills, which involve communication and action-based approach communicative et actionnel, within the broader framework of simulation as a language learning strategy, we were well prepared to effectively deliver all courses at NFLV in the most innovative and engaging manner possible. NFLV started as a language laboratory, and for the past 3 decades, it has remained so. NFLV commenced its journey as a meticulously designed language laboratory, prioritizing practical and comprehensive language learning. A language laboratory transformed passive classrooms into active, speaking-centered environments. At NFLV, instructors employ an eclectic approach emphasizing the acquisition of the 4 fundamental language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. This approach aligns with the laboratory's primary objective, facilitating an immersive language learning experience where students engage in practical learning, experimentation, and skill development. NFLV's simulation approach incorporates diverse socio-educative activities conducted exclusively in French, and these activities encompass discussions, debates, symposia, talk shows, films, drama, excursions, and report writing. And the highly interactive classes immerse students in real-life settings such as churches, markets, trains, kitchens, supermarkets, and fostering accessible learning experiences. Self-evaluation tools, including voice recordings for assessment and corrections, further enhance students' language proficiency within this dynamic educational framework. The primary objective is to motivate students to actively engage in language learning exercises and provide more practice time than traditional laboratory settings. Success story despite itches. Despite competition from unaccredited centers in neighboring countries, NFLV thrives, evident in its strong patronage from universities, colleges of education, and the public. NFLV has trained 75,739 participants, making a significant contribution to Nigeria's intellectual growth. Furthermore, the establishment of NFLV has had a substantial economic impact on the Nigerian economy. By locally training the aforementioned number of students, including many from disadvantaged financial backgrounds who might not have had the opportunity to study French otherwise. NFLB has saved the country approximately $500 million in foreign currency expenditure. Beyond its academic contributions, NFLB has also made a positive social and economic impact on its host community. The institution has generated direct job opportunities for local residents and stimulated economic growth in the surrounding areas. The presence of a large student population with various needs has led to the increased commercial activities, thereby improving the overall social and economic well-being of the host community and its environment. Pedagogy re-expressed for a renewed knowledge appropriation. Director and Chief Executive Officer, my commitment to enhancing language teaching and learning has been well documented through a series of research contributions aimed at benefiting a wider academic audience. And these publications reflect my practical innovations in daily teaching activities with a focus on pedagogy that yields tangible results. In my paper titled L'enseignement du français oral et écrit au primaire et au secondaire, teaching of oral and written French in primary and secondary education, published in Dialogue et Culture, numéro 47, number 47, Brussels, in 2002. I advocated for the early introduction of oral French in schools. I emphasized the potential of young children to learn quickly at a tender age, leveraging their natural ability for unconscious learning. This approach promotes the sequence of oral learning before written language acquisition. Similarly, my paper titled L'enseignement du français, l'apport des interactions verbales, teaching French, the contribution of verbal interactions, published in the Revue Internationale des Professeurs de Français, LADITAN 2004. I address the ambiguity of and the confusion often encountered by language teachers. Drawing from Vygotsky's sociocultural theory, I highlighted the benefits of early introduction of French to learners and to adults as well. This acclaimed article explained why a language class should foster a place of exchange and negotiation, focusing on grammar in context rather than isolated sentences. In my work, LADITAN 2003, for a new boost of FFL, French as a foreign language, in our schools, new teacher-student relationships and foreign language teaching strategies. I challenge traditional teaching methods and teacher-student relations, advocating for a student-centered pedagogical approach, shifting the focus from teachers who should speak less to learners who ought to speak more. This approach aligns with the communicative and action-based pedagogical approaches, enabling faster mastery of language skills. Pedagogy re-expressed for a renewed knowledge appropriation. And I continue. Furthermore, I explored the impact of information and communication technology, ICT, on language teaching and learning in my publication, LADITAN 2016. I argued that ICT offers captivating tools and content that engage today's tech-savvy youth. ICT provides audio and video documents, text, animations, news, and more, enhancing the effectiveness of simulation as a language-based teaching tactic. It transforms the language learning experience into an interactive and entertaining one, eliminating boredom in classrooms and encouraging continuous self-learning. In my study published in the journal, LADITAN 2005A, I addressed the issue of mastering writing skills by exploring various methods for teaching writing in a French language class. Summarily, in the field of pedagogy, with an array of 24 of articles, my research contribution aims to improve language teaching methods, enhancing communication skills, and leverage technology to create engaging learning environments. This effort reflects my dedication to advancing language education and promoting effective pedagogical approaches. From an overview to a desired new status of French language in Nigeria. In my publication titled L'enseignement du français au Nigeria, état des lieux et des nécessités d'une nouvelle orientation, which is French language education in Nigeria, current status and the need for a new direction, which appeared in Honorabilis 2, 2011. It is Honorabilis is an international book of readings. I delved into the status of French language education in the sub-region and particularly in Nigeria. I reflected on the status of French in Nigeria and the events leading to its becoming the second official language of the country. Second official language in quotes. In 1996, during the tenure of the late Nigerian head of state, French was declared as the second official language of the country. At that time, not many people realized that this declaration was essentially an act of intimidation orchestrated by the dictator to exert pressure on the Commonwealth to reverse the suspension of Nigeria from the organization. It's worth recalling that Nigeria had faced sanctions and suspension from the British Commonwealth following the execution of Hephzibah, the renowned environmental activist and writer. According to Prof. Samuel Adeojo's position, Abacha's move was and is still considered by many analysts as a survivalist political lifebuoy to salvage him from being irrelevant to Nigerian history. His promotion of French to the position of second official language of our country was therefore seen as a desperate bid to court the sympathies of Francophone countries in the context of Nigeria's dwindling political fortunes and to anchor our drowning country in the safe harbor of countries which treat the French language as a common heritage to which they are inextricably bound. End of quote. If successive democratically elected Nigerian government have refrained from revisiting the declaration, it is likely due to a reluctance to associate with the legacy left by the dictator. At this juncture, Director and Chief Executive Officer, I implore you to leverage your esteemed position and the personal experience to either directly involve yourself or identify individuals strategically positioned to serve as a rallying point for mobilizing the Nigerian Francophone community. And this community comprises academics, students, professionals in French language-based fields, and international business practitioners. Together, we can champion the French as the second official language bill at the National Assembly. This long overdue move will establish a legal framework recognizing French as the second official language of the country, thereby promoting bilingualism and in English and French throughout Nigeria. The fate of our nation amidst Francophone countries is a significant concern that we cannot afford to take lightly any longer. Discovering literature. My passion for literature blossomed in secondary school, driven by a love for novels. Each book held hidden aspects of the human experience. I eagerly explored those books with real curiosity. My initial literary journeys led me to authors like Guy Descartes and San Antonio without more guidance. Offering tales of these books offer the tales of espionage, love, and crime, honing my expressions, compliments, and linguistic skills. Classic French literature, including Corneille, Le Cid, and the Moliere's works, left an indelible mark, emphasizing gallantry and romance, as in Moliere's Le Bourgeois Gentilhomme, where we learn to embrace chivalry and express love. Dramatization as a means of interpreting fiction. Director and Chief Executive, I'd like to share my unconventional approach to teaching Francophone African literature. In the absence of prescribed books, this stems from childhood memories, especially my grandfather's distinct comments on a cousin of mine. And of course, my cousins reported every one of us to grandfather then. And the grandfather would always say, Omolara, already be ere ìtàgé, ìwọ nìkan, òun sọ̀rọ̀ bí ẹni mẹ́wàá. Translated to Omolara, with your reports like a piece of drama, you alone, speaking like 10. Indeed, Omolara possessed remarkable reporting skills, deftly mimicking voices and integrating them into her reports. Remembering her helped me grasp narratology in the University of Geneva Discourse Analysis class. My grandfather's praise for Omalara's report highlighted the polyphonic nature of narrative discourse, sparking my interest in departmental writing workshops for transforming narratives into theatrical text and vice versa. Indeed, that inspired me to write my contribution in the book of readings in honor of Professor Ralph Adebisi. Dramatization as a means of interpretation or of interpreting fiction has really helped me even to teach those classes successfully. Within the broader framework of simulation as a teaching tactic, I applied this childhood knowledge and the remembrance to dramatize some chapters of Samuel Usman's novels, Le Bout de Bois de Dieu, God's Bit of Wood, and the Manda. Many of my students who are here will definitely remember how we did it in those days. Dramatization allows students to comprehend the core structures of these novels and identify their underlying themes without the need to read the books in their entirety. Indeed, those books were not even available. But the students got to know these books and all the characters through the dramatization that we did. Dramatizing text helps readers grasp themes and engage with ideas. For example, in the money order, students understood polygamy, bureaucracy, and corruption. Similarly, God's Bit of Wood illuminated the themes of decolonization, class struggle, and feminism. In brief, dramatization enriches students' understanding and appreciation of literature. It enables theme detection and message analysis, fostering deep appreciation and active learning. This strategy enhances creativity, imagination, oral communication, and body expression, while also promoting interaction and communication skills among students in an engaging manner. Understanding Francophone African Literature and its origin. In my work titled French Colonial Education in Francophone African Literature, Pre- and Post-Independence Poetry, LADITAN, 2013, I delved into the intricacies of the French colonial system, education, and their profound impact on the themes explored in Francophone African literature. In LADITAN 2013, I explained and that the publication served as a valuable resource, offering readers, learners, and researchers insight into the origin and the early days of Francophone African literature. The work also shed light on the socio-political conditions prevailing in Francophone African territories under colonial rule and in the newly independent nations. This pedagogical material continues to be an invaluable reference point for contributing to the body of knowledge. My research endeavors also extends to contemporary Francophone African literature, where I explore the evolving themes, narratives, and cultural expressions in the post-colonial context. Of course, with Amadou Kourouma as a storyteller. Amadou Kourouma, a celebrated Ivorian novelist, stands out in the literary world due to his distinctive style and storytelling approach. Drawing a parallel between Kourouma and Voltaire, I identify Kourouma as a storyteller whose wellspring of inspiration emanates from the immediate society and its myriad afflictions. The article places storytelling within the continuum of African heritage, likening Kourouma to an African griot. I also dwell on the engagement of authors with political and social issues. In my study, LADITAN 2000, I contextualized Kourouma's literary contributions within a post-independence discourse, highlighting his role in educating readers about African dictatorship. This article catapulted me into prominence as a Kourouma specialist, drawing global scholarly attention and collaboration requests. It was published in the Olicon 27, and it continues to inspire researchers worldwide. In response to demand, I wrote Comprendre à la Nefa Obligé, a guide for undergraduates studying French literature, and it aids those with limited linguistic skills to fully appreciate Kourouma's work. This resource offers an in-depth analysis of societal issues in the novel, aiding comprehension of tribal conflicts, origins, and the resulting socio-political consequences. It is essential for researchers on Kourouma. This author is a realist, as we would call him in the field of research. In our collaborative publication, LADITAN and Ajayi, 2006, my colleague Abiola Ajayi and I emphatically affirm that Amadou Kourouma's novels stand as beacons of vivid depictions of African life and unwavering critiques of colonialism, neo-colonialism, and post-colonialism. Kourouma's literary prowess is often celebrated for its unswerving commitment to portraying African realities in their unadorned essence. In my study of his last and posthumous work, Quand on refuse, on dit non, which is when you refuse, you say no, in the LADITAN 2010, I revisited literary creativity in the light of social events and historical facts. I demonstrated one of the many patterns of literary creativity and how the latter could be grafted on history. From the perspective of intertextuality, historical discourse is embedded in literary narratives to transform a novel into a historical document. While waiting for the vote of the wild beast, which is on attendant de vote des bêtes sauvages, Allah is not obliged, Allah n'est pas obligé. And when you refuse, you say no. Quand on refuse, on dit non. Are all historical novels from the perspective of the study. Exploring symbiotic relationship between fiction and language. In my article, 2002, I dwelt into Nkrumah's unique use of language in Allah n'est pas obligé, culminating in the observation that the author deliberately deviates from the conventional approach of adhering strictly to pure French as employed by colonial masters. Instead, he embraces an Africanized form of French, shaping a post-colonial discourse that demystifies literature and brings it closer to the people. Building upon this exploration of Nkrumah's language use, my work in LADITAN 2008 further contends that a written text serves as a convergence point for a multitude of dialogues, voices, and ideologies. Through the lens of intertextuality, which involves incorporating other voices into one's narrative, I revealed how the author of Allah n'est pas obligé skillfully establishes multiple layers of enunciation within the novel. I also extended my research to Usman Sambed. Usman Sambed as a social critic. My analysis in LADITAN 2000 demonstrates how, in Gerwa, Sambed Usman delivers a scathing indictment of the political, religious, and moral chaos in contemporary Africa. In LADITAN 1993, in LADITAN 1993, I posit that the author advocates for the rejection of archaic practices in contemporary Africa. In Le Mandat, c'est 3 jours and Hala, polygamy is portrayed with negative connotations seen as incompatible with the dignity of modern women. I also went further to research on prostitution. Prostitution as a form of resistance in Francophone African literature from the feminist perspective. In LADITAN 2001, I compared how male and female writers in Francophone African literature depict female prostitutes. Both genders see their activities as a moral decay, but male-authored works rarely portray them as heroines. However, contemporary female writers like Alice Bayala present prostitution as a form of survival and liberation for women in a male-dominated world. I've also extensively researched on dictatorship and the rejection of retrograde beliefs, drawing insight from renowned African authors like Mango Betty and others. In the LADITAN 2010, I revealed how literature challenges sit-tight regimes using Amadou Nkrumah and Mango Betty as case studies. In 2005, my paper on commitment in African literature explores recurring themes like persecution, imprisonment, exile, and assassination of writers in dictatorial African states. Fiction and language, Director and Chief Executive. My research explored the intersection of fiction and informal education in Yoruba oral literature. In my study, entertainment and informal education, storyteller tales and related genres in Yoruba oral literature. LADITAN 2004C. I demonstrated how Yoruba oral storytelling is a potent source of informal education. Literature as a powerful tool for informal education transcends boundaries, dwelling into complex issues, abstract concepts, cultural understanding, social issues, cultural awareness, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and creativity. Contribution to knowledge, Director and Chief Executive Officer. Integrating simulation into French classes has enriched language acquisition and pedagogy research. Over 3 decades, my research into fiction has also yielded valuable insights. Analyzing literary works uncovers cultural and social themes, providing understanding of historical and societal influences. Interpreting literary fiction is crucial for humanities scholars. It enables deeper analysis of complex narratives, character, and symbolism. My research demonstrates the academic value of literary interpretation. Firstly, it has also helped to uncover the historical and cultural context in which a work of literature is written, providing insight into the social, political, and philosophical concerns of the time. Secondly, it has helped in revealing how a work of literature reflects or challenges dominant ideologies and how it contributes to ongoing debates within various fields of study. I have also demonstrated how ability to interpret literary fiction can make significant contributions to societal development by fostering empathy, critical thinking, and a deeper understanding of complex social issues. Permit me to go to the conclusion. The establishment of NFLV, a French language simulation-based inter-university center, has proven to offer numerous advantages over attending an immersion center abroad. These benefits can be summarized as follows. NFLV offers a cost-effective alternative to expensive immersion centers abroad, eliminating travel costs, foreign fees, visa hassles, and the challenges of unfamiliar environments. NFLV offers flexible scheduling of customizable program options for learners. Thirdly, NFLV offers learners the unique opportunity to acquire language skills within a familiar cultural setting. The center's dedicated teachers provide unparalleled personalized attention, allowing learners to progress at their own pace, receive tailored feedback, and customize their learning experiences to align with their goals. NFLV values its dedicated teachers who combine research insight with effective teaching, bringing transformative changes to the learning experience. Research-based practices empower NFLV teachers, improving education quality and student learning outcomes. Research-based teaching strategies at NFLV create dynamic and interactive classes, exposing students to new ideas. Students develop critical thinking skills by engaging with the research findings and exploring their real-world application. Research integration encourages teachers at NFLV to experiment with new approaches based on the latest discoveries. Research informs ongoing training, keeping teachers updated on the latest developments. NFLV faculty actively disseminates insight, contributing to knowledge in their field. And after 3 decades of collective effort from staff, I proudly declare NFLV's success, and I honor our founding fathers. Implications. As implications, Director and Chief Executive permit me to send this message to government and regulatory educational agencies. Government is well represented here. For the main purpose for the main purpose of the establishment of NFLV not to be defeated, LIP in NFLV should be made a sine qua non condition for the award of the BA, B.Ed in French for the university students and the NCE in French for the colleges of education students. LIP in NFLV should be made a sine qua non condition. Number 2, the signing into law of the bill establishing the NFLV is overdue. Government should see the need to sign this bill into law without further delay. Number 3, government is enjoined to increase capital, personal and overhead grants to the institution to alleviate the current administration struggle against infrastructural dilapidation and to bail the institution out of financial disability. Number 4, relisting the NFLV among the beneficiaries of that fund will go a long way in helping the institution to cope with increasing demands in infrastructure, research grants, and teaching equipment. Government should accept the revisitation of the Abacha Declaration, support and facilitate through appropriate and constitutional means the metamorphosis of French into the second Nigerian official language. Regulatory educational agencies, Ministry of Education, National University Commission, NUC are invited to consider to request for the professionalization of French, which entails mounting of French-dominated professional courses such as translation and interpretation, bilingual secretaryship by capable tertiary institutions in the country. Federal Ministry of Education and educational regulatory agencies should also consider the combination of French with professional courses in the universities as once advocated by Adeojo 2006. French should be combined with courses such as mass communication, law, banking, business administration, tourism, drama, etc. Government at all levels, all educational policy makers, school proprietors are invited to start working seriously towards setting up computer-based laboratories connected to high-speed internet. Message to the community. As the host community, Badagry community at large, and the Ajara community especially, you stand to benefit greatly from NFLV. You are encouraged to capitalize on the institution's proximity to learn French and reap its full advantages. Being near the primary land border and the Nigeria's gateway from the French-speaking world offers abundant opportunities, mostly tied to French proficiency. Having a higher institution is an asset. With NFLV, FVISS, which is French Village International Staff School, and the FVIC, French Village International College, as the main employers. We hope our developmental challenges become your shared concerns. The planned relocation of FVIC should have the community's support. Efforts to secure land for the project have repeatedly failed over the years, and we urge the community to help make this dream come true. And the message to Nigerians, you and I. A shift in attitude towards learning French is imperative for all Nigerians. Our nonchalant approach must be replaced with eagerness to know and speak the language. And this will position us as a formidable force in Africa and globally. Political leaders should champion this cause, advocating for increased funding for French education and leading by example in learning the language. Parents should motivate their children to begin learning French promptly, rather than waiting for employment demands to dictate it as a prerequisite. Proficiency in French will grant Nigerians broader access to international job prospects, empowering us in the global arena. Director and Chief Executive, at this juncture, permit me to acknowledge the following people, among whom you come first. Director and Chief Executive Officer, permit me to bring this lecture to a close by first thanking my Creator and you. God has intervened in my affairs right from childhood, and I owe Him gratitude. And I also want to thank you, Director, for doing the impossible in the Nigeria French language village. And I believe the God we all serve stood by you. Because the word I read says that with God, nothing is impossible. The impossible became possible. Director and Chief Executive Officer, accept my sincere congratulations and gratitude as well for your visionary and transformational leadership. Your boldness and dynamism, which within 3 years of your administration produced 5 professors in the Nigeria French language village. This inaugural lecture series initiated by you wouldn't have taken off without your principled determination and your indefatigable belief in the academic competence of the teaching staff of this institution. My sincere appreciations also go to the principal officers of the NFLV, the registrar, Ms. Ini-Nwa, the bursar, Mr. M. Odetola, the acting librarian, Dr. A.A. Adejo, whose daily contributions and the support to the director have made the ongoing transformational development in the NFLV possible. I wish to congratulate my colleagues, professors in the NFLV, M.I. Alawode, J.A. Adeleke, P.A. Adeni, M.O. Adesola, S.I. Onaiwola, for their patience, resilience, and determination, not to quit in the face of uncertainties hovering over our promotional prospects. I express my gratitude to Professor Samuel Adeoya Ojo, the pioneer director, chief executive officer, or let me say Director General, 1991 to 2003, for his unwavering foundation and pedagogical innovations that continue to uphold NFLV as a unique French language center. The expression of my gratitude also goes to the second Director General, 2003 to 2013, late Professor Samuel Olabanji Ajay, who contributed his quota to the growth of the institution. May his soul continue to rest in perfect peace. I sincerely appreciate Professor Ralph Adebisi, former Director and CEO, 2014 to 2019 of NFLV, for his role in the LUC LASU NFLV tripartite agreement and for appointing me as Deputy Director. And I served under him from 2016, and when he left, I continued as acting director to 2020. He trusted me and he had confidence in me. Thank you very much, sir. I extend special thanks today to Professors Olarewaju Fagbon and Ibiyemi Olatuji Bello, former and current Vice Chancellors of Lagos State University, for their role in implementing the MUC LASU NFLB tripartite agreement that yields 5 of us today as professors. I remember and appreciate Professor Tunde Fatunde for his unquantifiable contributions to NFLB's growth as a former council member and the founder of the Fatunde Francophonie Foundation. I wish to appreciate former registrars, Mrs. Temi Soluga, Barrister Remi Fatuashe, Mr. M. Uko, for leaving one after the other indelible marks of administrative prowess and progress in the history of the Nigeria French language village. I wish to express my profound gratitude to the French government for fully sponsoring my doctoral studies, 1998 to 2002 in France, and for ensuring that I got the best in-service training in France and in Nigeria through their service de coopération culturelle. I'm grateful to the Swiss government for the award of the prestigious Federal Swiss Government Scholarship I enjoyed from 1994 to 1996 for in-depth studies in discourse analysis at the University of Geneva. I appreciate Mrs. Rhoda Akindike-Falade and Mr. John Obiaru, former bosses of NFLB, who displayed uncommon financial integrity during their tenure. I want to thank Professor Remi Shonaya as the immediate past chairperson of the village council for her contribution to the village growth. I want to express my gratitude to Professor Aire, who took time to read the manuscript of this inaugural lecture. I want to thank Professor Kesta Ekeli, Professor Raymond Elao, Professor Union Edeberi, Cyril Mokoye, Tayo Ajayi, AIT Folonsho, Ramonu Sanusi, Salawu Adenimi, S.O. Kolaole, Lebel Aziege, Osimoye, L.A. Tijani, M. Ilupeju, Victor Ariole, Dele Adeboko, Engineer Mbanefo, Ajayi Samson Abiola, Tayo Ajayi, Doris Ojiege, Senior Osazua, Kristudu, Tidono Amosu, Gregory Simire, Ali Simire, whose contributions to my academic life has been so tremendous. I appreciate members of the academic and the non-academic staff of the NFLB for their dedication to work and their spirit of sacrifice. I remember with sadness all those who left the race for the great beyond somewhere along the line. May their souls will continue to rest in perfect peace. I wish to remember and appreciate my mother, Bamidele Ajike Ne Mulero, who died in 1985, a year before my graduation. I appreciate you for all the sacrifices you made for me to become what I am today. I also appreciate and thank my father, Amalekwe Afi, who died in 1958, a month to my birth, and whose image and name I proudly bear today. His name was Amalekwe Afi, and that name was given to me, and I bear it with pride. I want to appreciate my wife. Unfortunately, she's not on seat. I want to appreciate my wife, Olubusola Olayinka of Inestimable Value. I found in her a treasure as my mother's appreciate you for being there for me for the past 32 years. For giving me all my inadequacies and supporting me in crossing every wild ocean that came across my path. I thank you for your love, faithfulness, and for being a good mother to our wonderful children. And God be so much. To our children, Olúwa lórí mi, Olúwa pẹ̀lú mi, Olúwa ṣe mí lógo, Olúwa ti lè rí, and Olúwa ti ṣe. I appreciate you for being there. You have been good children. And I want to thank you for your daring ambitions that have always pushed me even to do more. May God continue to enlarge your course, and may God bless you in Jesus' name. Thank you for coming. God bless you.
Can we take the national anthem?
Please, all guests will kindly wait behind for is available with the option at a price of 1,000 naira. Thank you.